Chris Brown, Steve Tasker, and the Hall of Famer Thurman Thomas joining us. Thurman, welcome.
Thank you.
Did you like what you saw last night? It wasn't, Steve and I were just talking about this, it wasn't the explosive juggernaut, balls falling out of the sky, 60-yard touchdown bills that some people got accustomed to seeing the last couple of years. There's a few games now that they've won in methodical fashion, using efficiency as their main impetus to victory. Do you like it? Are you encouraged by it?
Yeah. It's got a card that says run game, run game, run game. Nice penmanship, too.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
Only 3.6 average per carry.
That's all right, though. I looked at the entire.
Explain why it's okay.
It's okay because now defenses know that, hey, we're not just going to drop back 60 times a game. I think that's the most important thing. And, hey, New England defense is a pretty good defense.
Yep.
I mean, they've always been that way. And so, yeah, now it gives them an opportunity to be like, okay, what are they going to do now? Are they going to run it? Are they going to pass it? I mean, a lot of the stuff was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 last night. And, man, I absolutely loved it, what they were doing. And it wasn't just Josh, like, in the shotgun. He was under center a lot.
Yeah.
He was under center a lot, and I really like that because now, as a running back, you want to see the entire field. That's kind of, I'm not really a fan of the run-pass option because the running back is going that way. You can't see what's cutting back on the other side.
So you don't know what your backside
So you don't know what your
options are.
backside is, yeah. And I just like you just can't see that. But if you're 7 yards or 6 yards behind Josh, man, you can see the entire field. You can see the cutback lane. You can see the blocks happening a little bit quicker. So yeah, I think it was a great game plan. And when was the last time the Bills held the ball for almost 40 minutes?
Right. We were talking. Yeah, they're one of the
Those
lowest in the
drives
league.
were incredible.
Yeah, they're one of the lowest in the league at time of possession, but not last night. And I thought it was and we've been talking about the discipline of the coaching staff that, it's easy enough to have Josh drop back, just score as many points as you can score and do all that, but then to come out then with a bunch of 2-back sets, 2 tight end sets, hand the ball off more than you throw it in a game where you really believe and you kind of realize as a coaching staff, they're not going to score enough points to really beat us.
No, not at all.
Let's get some things on film and work on something and give some guys a chance to contribute. Is this, one game like this that you come out and you run like this against a good defense, no question.
Yeah, no doubt.
What does it help with going forward?
I think it helps the confidence of the offensive line, and I think obviously it helps the confidence of James Cook too. I think he touched the ball, 19 or 20 times last night? That's career high for him.
Most extensive work. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So I think the Bills are seeing now, Ken Dorsey is seeing now what this guy is made of. And look, I'm not trying to take away carries away from – because I think they complement each other very, very well. Very, very well. And so, yeah, it's just another thing to put on film for other teams to look at. I think these guys, if they're really going to show how dominant they can be, do it against this next defense that you're coming up against, New York Jets. That is a tough defense.
You can run on them. You're doing something right.
You are doing something absolutely right. But, like I said, it doesn't – and they got some pretty good pass rushers, but now those edge rushers are on, I don't need to go upfield too fast because they might run at me, and I'll open up the lane a little bit wider. So I'm looking at this as a positive. I know it's just one game, but I think if you can continue this throughout the rest of the season, especially these next division games, I think it helps Josh a lot better than, only time I saw Josh being Josh last night was touchdown to Gabe Davis.
Right.
I'm thinking – just throw it away. But him being like that.
That's a play we've seen. How many times have we seen that? We saw it against the Jets last year when he's going out of bounds, gets hit, and rifles it down the sideline to Steph Diggs.
Yep.
We saw it in Miami when he threw it back over the middle of the field, and Steph had fallen down, gotten up, and came back, hit him again there. We've seen it last night against the Patriots. That's his thing.
Yeah. And that one play right there, the strength. You know how strong? He's stiff-arming guys, and because
You just stay over here. I'm going to throw this.
Yeah, unless if that guy is still on him, he probably doesn't get as much on the play. But at the last minute, he kind of pushed him aside to give him an opportunity to turn his whole body. right there.
And the Patriots, I mean, they're sitting over there making this defensive call, and the Patriots got number 30 right where they want him. They flush Josh out the right side. 30 comes out, and he can cover some ground. He can't get him on the ground.
Can't get him on the
He
It's
can't.
Mac Wilson. He's
Mac
220
Wilson, yeah.
pounds.
Josh stiff arms him off and hops out of bounds outside the white. He doesn't release the ball till he's airborne out of bounds. And there's a picture on Twitter. There's 5 Patriots. There's 2 on Josh and 3
in the
around
end zone.
Gabe Davis. And you can see it
There's
here.
7 guys
There's
on
like
that half of
7
the field.
guys outside the hash marks, and Josh throws it for a touchdown in the middle of all of them. You got to be over there just wanting to puke if you're a defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
So that's Bill Belichick, right?
Yeah.
Or his kid.
You know, you mentioned the running game and
Yeah.
Cook. He has 105 total yards. He tweets this morning, more to come. He is the perfect change of pace back to Singletary. Singletary, as we know, is not explosive, but he can make people miss because
Yeah,
of his sharp
absolutely.
cutting, built low to the ground ability. But I got to believe if you're a defender and you're watching Singletary come through the hole, and then the next series Cook is coming through the hole, it's like, whoa, like it's an adjustment for a defender when you got a guy that's that explosive, right?
Yeah.
From one series to the next.
Absolutely. And it was that way with like myself and Kenny Davis. Kenny Davis was way faster than I was. And his explosiveness was something that, you know, was like a change of pace type of guy. But this kid here, I'm telling you, I really love the way that, you know, Sean McDermott and Ken Dorsey have brought him along. And yeah, he's going to work out very fine. I think with having him getting more reps like he did, I mean, they were some crucial reps that he had, critical reps.
Yeah, they gave him the ball in big spots.
Right.
And I think, too, everybody got off to a slow start. Devin Singletary dropped a pass. James Cook dropped a pass. Dawson Knox dropped a pass. Gabe Davis dropped a pass.
Steph even dropped a pass later in
Steph
the
dropped
game.
a pass. And we saw Steph drop the first pass of the game in the Detroit game.
Yep.
So what's up with that?
I don't know what's up with that.
Because they're not tough. They're not. No, some of them are really easy
It's a
catches.
concentration
Yeah.
thing, I guess, and you know, it's not
But
like
they,
a lot of
they
those
happen
guys.
early, though.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
they
at least
happen
Diggs
early.
had a defender draped on him when he made his
Yeah.
drop, but some of the other guys, it's like, oh, come on, let's
I
go.
think Knox, the football was kind of turning
Yeah,
on
it
him,
was-
so it was kind of hard.
he-
to-
his body
The
was
Gabe
twisting.
Davis drop in the end zone was a tough catch. He had to
Yeah.
extend it.
He had to
He barely
extend
got
it. Yeah.
his both
trying to
hands
catch
on
it with his fingernails.
Yeah, so I get that, but you know, the running backs, those catches are easy, and they seem like, well, I mean, they seem like they're in a hurry when they're trying to catch it, and they get out of there quick. You know, they take their eyes off it, or they take it for granted, whatever.
They got to know where that defender is.
That is a
first-
crusher,
first
man, and I think that's
foremost.
one of the reasons the Bills have gotten off to slow starts is not just Cook and Singletary, but also Davis and Diggs, and they got drop passes early in games.
Yeah.
It's been a problem that's resurfaced time and again.
Got to fix
Well,
it.
they haven't really practiced a lot either, though.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
I think
they did
you brought,
this
I
week.
think you
That's
brought
right.
that up
Yep,
against,
last week,
against
you're right.
Detroit
Good
last
point.
week. They haven't really practiced, so the timing could be off with it. You just
know
never
how-
know.
yeah,
I think with this team, like we said a week ago or so, they were 7-6, and they got on a run. I think that's still possible for this football team with adding the running game.
I got one other running game question because Steph Diggs mentioned it last night, and I had noticed it in the game. And somebody had asked him about Cook and the performance he had, and he said he was good. He said he did a nice job. I like that kid. He's still getting better. He said, I also was yelling at him to get his damn knees up so he doesn't keep falling down all the time.
He did that too. He did it
So,
twice.
so talk to me, Thurman, about that because when I see a running back doing that, I'm saying to myself, somebody's in his ear about pad level. So he is so worried about getting his pads low that he's getting too far out over his skis, and then he's falling down. So what is the balance there between proper pad level but getting your knees high enough to keep your forward momentum and balance?
Well, first of all,
Is there a technique there?
I
or-
don't think there's a technique there. I just think it was probably nerves from him.
Okay.
Trying to be faster than what he is instead of just relying on his natural ability to hit the holes and stay on his feet. I just think it was maybe some type of nervousness trying to really make an impact play.
Well, I think too they gave him his opportunities in the first 10 games of the season or 12 games of the season in little dribs and drabs. One play here, one or two plays there. And I think when you do that to a young player, sometimes they think they got to hit a home run because they're going to get off the field, you know.
Yeah.
So they're doing things they wouldn't normally do when they know, hey, I got another touch coming in the next play. Let me just do what I can do here. And they're more productive because of that.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody has to tell him 4 yards is a good play in the NFL.
Right, yeah.
It's
You're not
about
going
first
to you're
downs, not
you're not
touchdowns
going to
in
be
this
getting
league.
a lot
This
of
isn't-
explosive plays
not Georgia
in the
Van-
National Football League.
It's not Georgia Vanderbilt.
or Georgia Tech.
Georgia Tech.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, I really like it. And another, I know we're talking about offense here, but having Tremaine back.
Oh, yeah.
He played
I
well
mean,
last night.
First couple of series, I mean, he was trying to rip guys' heads off.
Yeah, you
I mean,
felt
he made his
pre-
presence
yes.
felt at the exact moment of the game when the game started. So I mean, it looks like he's healthy again. I mean, I looked at the box sheet, and him and Milano were the top 2 tacklers in the game.
Yeah,
and
nobody
those
knew.
guys feed off each other very, very well. Yeah, so I was really impressed with that. I think now, like, the defense now is like, okay, I know we're not going to have Vaughn for at least 4 weeks. Well,
Right.
let's improve on what we have now when he was here.
Yeah.
We need to keep that same energy. And I think Russo, he had a great game last night coming back.
A couple of his teammates mentioned him specifically.
Exactly. So I think the defense is now like, okay, you know what? Vaughn was here for the first 11 games. He's about going to be here for the next 4. We need to keep that same energy, turn it up just like we did against the Patriots, and that includes everybody. I saw everybody tackling last night. There was a great defensive effort.
Jordan Poyer mentioned this guy, so I'm going to as well. The last 3 weeks, Shaq Lawson
Yeah.
looks like a different human being. I mean, 4th down stops,
Yeah.
goal line stops. We always knew he could set the edge. He's always been good at that.
Yeah.
But Shaq was like a wayward player the last couple of years. He's in Miami. He gets traded to Houston. He's in New York last year. He's a different player here. What's the deal?
I think it's that room he's in, that D-line room. I mean, all those guys are making plays, and Shaq is probably like, I got to start making some plays too. And he have in the last couple of
Yeah.
weeks. And it's, like I said, it's not just one guy. Vaughn has put energy and experience through all those guys now. And
Yeah.
they're making plays up front like we haven't seen in years.
It's going to be interesting to see the effect Vaughn has on these guys when he's not playing.
Right.
And what he's done for them up to this point and the kind of motivation they can, because they're going to spin this thing, say, hey, Vaughn's not here. Everybody thinks we're not going to be able to, let's show him,
Well, they all looked that way last night.
Yeah,
Like, I'm
and-
gonna be the guy
I'm
stepping
gonna be the
up.
guy,
No, I'm
right.
going to be the guy stepping up.
Right.
Hey, Ed just got
I'll
Defensive
say
Player of the
this.
Week. I won it this week. Yeah.
And they did a nice job against the run game of the Patriots, but they only got 1 sack. Patriots didn't throw it all over the yard until late in the game, but
they can't.
you got to feel like this crew, particularly this week, you need to get some pressure on a pass because the Jets are going to run an NFL offense, not whatever it was the Patriots were
Well,
running.
and
last
White
night.
gets the ball out quick. He's a rhythm thrower. It's 3 steps, bang, the ball's out. 3 steps, bang, the ball is out. So there are ways to defend that.
Yeah.
But what he has brought to the Jets is a functionality for the offense. And that's all that offense really needs to do.
That's
It
all
just
it needs,
needs to
yeah.
function
Yes.
because the defense is so good. They'll keep the team in the game. And if you get 17, 20 points with Mike White, with that defense, you have a chance at the end of the game.
Yeah, you do have
As
a
long as
chance.
he's not turning the ball.
Yeah, as long as he's not turning. But with that being said, the Bills know the short passes are the ones that you're going to get from Mike White. And I think we got, hey, I would love to have Micah Hyde back there, but we got Jordan Poyer. Guys are playing well. And we got Trey Davis back. We got Trey White back.
Tre'Davious, right?
Yeah, so
I was
I'm
going to ask you
really-
about that. What'd you think about Kyer Elam being inactive, Xavier Rhodes getting a shot at it? You've got Christian Benford, who's on the shelf for a minute. There's a lot going on over there on that side of the ball, moving guys around. The only 2 constants of when they're healthy is Poyer and Taron Johnson.
Yeah.
DeMar Hamlin now seems to be a constant, although, Jaquan Johnson was there for a minute. So what do you think about the defensive backfield, how they're handling it? What do you think going forward? Are they – I guess you have to think that they're sending some messages to Kyer Elam and those guys about if you want to play,
Yeah. Like McDermott is always, it's week to
That's
week.
right. It's week to week.
It is week to week. So obviously, you know, the same thing that James Cook went through early in the year, now it's happening to Keel, right? Now it's happening to these guys. And so, yeah, I can see that happening. And I'm sure you're probably going to see those guys step their game up in practice or whatever they, you know, Coach McDermott puts them through. But, yeah, it's always that situation. But you know what? It's been shuffled around so much this year with the secondary. And to still have one of the top secondaries in the league, not giving up long touchdowns and not giving up really a lot of big plays, it says a lot about the front four and the front seven up there too.
Well, a lot of those guys on the back end are like the linebackers, the DBs. They all said it last night. The guys up front make this whole thing go. They were in max face all night. They were clogging up rush lanes, you know, and they've done that for a while now. But in particular, these last 3 weeks, Cleveland, Detroit, New England. Now, you're not playing juggernaut offenses. We understand that.
Right.
But
against the lesser offenses, dominate them, and they have.
But it's another lesson for that defense. It's like, well, if you want to try to run on us, well, we're going to body up, man for man, and we're going to stop the run.
Yeah.
So I think that gives them an element of, yes, we can do it either way you guys want to do it. If you want to drop back and throw it 50 times, hey, we might not get the sacks that we might attempt to get if Von Miller was here, but we're going to get to you. We're going to put pressure on it, and if you want to buckle it up for 60 minutes, we can do that too. And we have the confidence that we can do it every single time, as long as our offense outscore your guys.
Yeah, that was it. It has been the personality of this season. The Bills have won a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Certainly, early in the season, they were ringing them up on the scoreboard, but you know, then you get into a pushing match with Baltimore, into a slugfest with Miami down there. The Pittsburgh game notwithstanding, they were,
That was an explosive game.
Tennessee,
game. Explosive plays. Pittsburgh, explosive plays.
Chiefs was an absolute knockdown drag. And every time you beat the Chiefs, and I've said that, you feel like you need a lifetime achievement award. They're really hard to beat. They
are hard to beat.
And the Bills have done it twice in their building. Josh, the only quarterback to do it, twice in their building against Mahomes.
Right.
So, that I think that mystique is worn off for the Bills. I mean, certainly you want to play them here, not there, but the Bills are a team that people are going to go, they could get it done.
They can get it done.
Yeah, so this kind of been that season where, close losses, close wins, big wins. They found different ways to do it on a number of different occasions.
Yeah, I mean, with all the injuries that we keep talking about, they found a way to, 9-3 right now?
Yep.
9-3 right now. So, I mean, take your hats off to Sean McDermott, man. Those guys and Leslie Frazier, those guys have done an outstanding job putting guys in the position they need to be in order to help this team get to where they want to be. And hopefully, Vaughn can come back, but I just see this team. I see them getting better and better.
Yeah.
I really do see them getting better. Now they're getting healthier. I think Deion Dawkins with the rest, I think he'll be back come against the Jets. So they're getting healthier at the right time. Like I said, I'm just in love with the fact that Trey White had the opportunity to get out there and play a lot of snaps. I think he played like over 50 or 60 snaps.
So you think about it.
And so with him being back, you're kind of cutting off half of the field right now.
Yep.
So
and that makes a huge difference for the other three guys that are back there. We saw this team play 3 games in 12 days with an injury-riddled roster. They won all 3 games. You already addressed
they were all on the road.
All of them on the road. You already addressed how Coach McDermott manages crisis, maybe better than anybody in the league, in my opinion. But I want to talk about 2 specific things that came up in the game last night, not really related to the win necessarily. Jordan Poyer ruled as not surviving the ground on his interception. I tweeted it after the replay. This rule needs to be fixed because the ball moves maybe an inch as the man is rolling on his back with the ball in his hands. It never leaves his hands. It never touches the ground. And it's ruled that he did not survive the ground. All I'm going to say is if you're flying through the air, you make an interception, and then you hit the ground, there is a chance the ball may move an inch or two in your possession. but it never came out of his hands.
Yeah.
So
It's still
somebody's
in there.
really got to help me with this.
Yeah, to
they
me-
got to fix this.
Because the ball didn't touch the ground, he
It's
did finish.
insane.
He did finish the process.
Exactly. Now the ball touched the ground. It's a whole different ball game.
yeah, it
Right.
never did
Yeah, it
though.
The ball
did.
never touched the ground.
I don't get it. I really don't. It's just it moved a half an inch and it didn't survive the ground. Like, come on with that. They've got to fix this rule. The competition committee, this has got to be one of your top priorities. You have to fix this because you're going to get to a point in time where there is going to be a situation that costs a team a football game because of a cockamamie call like that. I'm sorry. That's just the way I feel about
of course, because it's happened countless times before this where a game has been lost because of stuff like that.
Right.
You look the Dallas Green
Bay
Bay
game.
NFC
Right.
Championship game.
Right.
It's been an ongoing debate.
Des Bryant, yeah.
Des Bryant.
It's crazy. It's happened time and time and time and time again, and that's
Oklahoma
why
State,
we
yeah.
still have these conversations. What's that?
Oklahoma
just
State.
throwing
Des
an
Bryant, but go ahead.
He was throwing an Okie State up there. All right, we got to take a break here. I do want to, and I'll talk to Steve about this because unfortunately, Thurman, even though we got an extra 5 or 6 minutes in with you, we're out of time already again. So thanks for coming in.
Absolutely.
Enjoy your weekend. Stress-free Bills weekend.
Putting my feet up Sunday.
Root for the Bengals.
Yeah.
Root for the Niners.
Yep,
Those
yep.
are your two teams you're rooting for.
I'm all for it.
And we'll catch up with you next week.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
All right, that's the Bills Hall of Famer Thurman Thomas joining us here on One Bills Live.